2, go.
Hi, Sam.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm great.
Great. Quickly, Sam and I are married. He is my husband. We've been together on and off, so that it was like 2 years that we were not together. But I have known and loved this man for 20 years. Crazy.
20 years?
It's been 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
2003, freshman year, it was March. Or no, it might have been like February. No, it was probably March.
Yeah.
We've been married for 13 years, coming up in July. Put up a question box on my Instagram. Had you all, several of you wrote in a lot of questions, and I took about top, let's say 10 questions. And we are gonna answer them for you right now. Best marriage advice: how do you keep a healthy and strong marriage? Pursuing Jesus with all your heart, like on your own, praying for your spouse, but then also choosing to pursue your spouse.
Yeah, that's it right
I
there.
stole that from you.
That's it. Deciding to pursue your spouse. That's probably the best advice that we give people when we go through premarital counseling.
Led premarital counseling
Yeah,
for
through ministry.
couples.
And it's just telling them the only way a love can last a lifetime is when you actively choose to pursue the other person. The feelings and the butterflies eventually go away. The only way to keep going at it is to be intentional. I'm gonna pursue you. I'm gonna discover more of what fills your cup during this season, so I'm gonna try and do that.
Yeah.
It's making that decision every day. So
A lot of finance questions. What did you do before influencing pastor's salary, etc., income, etc.? So
my first job, I was a pizza delivery driver.
in high school. Okay, we're not
Oh,
going
that's-
back to high school.
oh, we're
That's
not.
nice. No.
I thought this question was for me before influencing.
Before I became content creator, digital creator, influencer, whatever, got out of college and got my real estate license, was in real estate. Then I worked in title insurance, so sales, selling homes, selling title insurance, Bree and James back to back. So I found a way to make money from home through network marketing. That business grow. It felt a shift in the market, and then I also felt a shift within the company. The Lord led me and kind of like just shifted my online know-how, I guess, like knowing how to post, knowing how to show up on like behind a camera, and that has turned into this. But it did take a while period where I didn't know what I was doing, and I was afraid that like with Sam's pastoral career, I wasn't doing anything, and we live in San Diego, and pastors, at least from our knowledge, we're not celebrity pastors. So
Why not?
no, but the income didn't, so we had to be a dual income family. We've always had to be a dual income family. I was trying to figure out what do I want to do next, and I really believe that the Lord put this in front of me, and it was one of those things where I was like, I'm going to choose to pursue this, and I'm going to pursue God in that. Part of depression with Jackson after having him, and I saw moms coming up on TikTok and Instagram, and I just felt this like sense of I'm not alone. And I remember thinking to myself, if I can make one other woman feel that way in her journey and her experience, I want to do the same, and that's how this grew.
Yeah, I was a financial advisor pretty much before I graduated from college, my last senior year. Went to work with my grandfather in that business, eventually became an owner in it, and did that for almost 10 years before switching to ministry.
I think a lot of people had questions about like, how can we afford to live in a nice home? I work full time. This is a full-time job for me.
It's not based on my salary.
And it's not. No, it is not.
We were able to buy the home that we were in currently because we bought our first home 11 years ago. The timing of it was really good. We made
It was
some
really
good
good.
equity in it, and we were able to use that to purchase this home in Tennessee.
Work this full time, and vlogging, creating, making videos. This is my full-time income. This is my full-time job, and I do create an income through that. We still are a dual income family. Sam, think of your social media influencing career.
I love it. I'm supportive of it, 100%. It's been an amazing journey to just see growth, but your heart too that people don't see, and wanting to just steward what God has given you well. Yeah, to point people, I think, ultimately back to Him. You do that through being authentic, being vulnerable, showing people real life, and yeah, that's why I love it.
Thank you. So nice. Thank you. How did you get into ministry?
You asked me a question probably 7 years ago now. If you could do anything in the world where money wasn't the concern or the motivation, what would it be? I had no idea, so I said I need to think about it. Came back probably a few days later and said I want to do something around football. Same week, I got an email from someone we know from high school. and describing the ministry that they're doing. I'd never read these emails before, but I happened to read this one. Describing the ministry he's doing on campuses, but the way he's doing it is through coaching football. And I read that email and I'm like, I want to do this. Reached out to him, got connected with him, got to coaching at his school the very next season. Through that first 2 years of coaching high school football, God showed me that I could connect with people, relate with kids that looked nothing like me, had lives that were nothing like mine. But in these relationships, we began to have spiritual conversations, talk about faith, invited them to the on-campus ministry. And so that was just kind of the eye-opening experience for me of how, like, yes, I would love to do this full time. So that's really kind of what pushed me into seeing I could do ministry, but then also just developing this desire to want to go after it and just do it.
It's been what has been our hardest season of marriage?
The hardest season for me was when we had James.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Yeah, 16 months old, just Capri. So we still had one that was obviously in diapers and...
We had 2 in diapers.
Well, no, but then James
Like
comes.
a baby and a newborn.
What was hard for me, it was just the biggest adjustment because I could no longer just take a baby and hand it to you and be like, okay, I'm good at work now. Right, team effort. And so, yeah, it's just amazing how God grows your capacity. It's something you're stepping into, you're like, man, I don't really want to do this. Like, because having 2 babies is hard. And as a guy, it's like, it's taking away my free time. Selfishly, it's like taking away that. So it's an adjustment because it's learning how to just be okay with that, but thrive, being able to thrive when you're not able to do everything you want to do in like any immediate moment, I guess. So
I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing as a mom. I felt like I had a good handle of one baby. Capri was pretty colicky when she was a baby, and so I was afraid of that happening again with James. He was not a colicky baby, so that was a nice break, but it was still hard for me to manage and juggle 2 under 2. And that's when I was like, I just want to stay home. I do not want to leave the house and work because it was a lot more to juggle a daycare situation and who's gonna watch. And we honestly couldn't even afford daycare at that time. We were passing Capri and James off to family, and he would go to the office while I would go out in the field and do sales rep stuff. And it was hard. It was really hard. And like nighttime was hard. And I just remember being like, can we please get to bedtime? And I didn't have anything for myself. And I think that that's when my network marketing career really did help fill something in me that was like exciting.
Yeah.
How to keep a marriage fresh, having fun with each other.
Yeah.
Like, record of wrong.
yeah, and just, yeah, I don't know. You're my best friend, so
You're my best friend.
doing that and just embracing it, living in that.
Yeah. How do you deal with parenting differences and discipline?
It's a good question. I think this is, so here's my quick perspective on this. This is why it's so important if you're a Christian or believer to be married to someone who has the same beliefs as you do, because it makes parenting issues or differences a lot smaller. It's like, this isn't a hill that I'm gonna die on, right? There's a difference. No point in destroying our marriage because we disagree on how to best discipline our kids. Oh, those 2 things. Making sure that, yeah, when you do get married, obviously, to go in the same direction, you have to have similar type beliefs, similar world views, and a huge step up of making sure, again, you're gonna be of like yoke. And then 2, it's like, yeah, be humble in your approach. We all think we know the best, but really, it's good to actually be open to how other people want to do things. So dying on any unnecessary hills in your marriage.
And I think that it's also important to consider your upbringing as a child, his or her upbringing as a child, because it does definitely help you understand your spouse or significant other more than if you weren't considering that. Marriage is a lot of consideration. Parenting with children is a lot about considering the other person.
What do you think about secular music?
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Oh man, we can make a whole nother video on this, huh?
I mean, yeah, so there's a whole debate, and I would just say this, the Bible doesn't say anything about it. The Bible does not actually even say to not listen to any specific type of music. But for us as believers, I think it's really important to just be aware, what are you consuming? Like, what are you feeding your mind? What are you feeding your thoughts? What are you allowing to just influence who you are as a person? We're constantly consuming. And so it's not just music, but it's like, you can overconsume on like news.
That's
on a
so
daily
true.
basis.
This is so.
And
This
guess
is
what? That's gonna
such a
affect.
good point.
That's gonna affect your mood. It's gonna affect
Yeah.
the way that you respond to your kids. It's the reality is again we're always.
It can even be
Consuming.
like a reality TV show.
There's no command directly in the Bible that says don't listen to secular music. They like say that that's the line. There is no line. I think again it has to do with what's the Holy Spirit guiding you with.
Yes.
Right? That's the beautiful thing, right? The Bible tells us the Holy Spirit lives within you, and one of his jobs is to bring conviction. So if you feel convicted with it, of listening to any particular artist, then I would lean into that. Ask God, are you asking me to not listen to this? Are you asking me to give this up for a time? And again, he'll do that because he's obviously aware of how he's made us.
Yeah, I will say that there was a time where I didn't listen to secular music, but it wasn't because I was like, it's bad and
Yeah.
it's satanic
But
and
to
the
be
devil, and people who do listen, even if they are Christian, they're bad and they're wrong. Like,
to
it
be
had
like-
nothing to do
yeah.
with that. It was everything to do with the Holy Spirit
But to
convicting
be like-
me, putting in my mind, and how that directed my thoughts.
Yeah.
But there has been, like, I do enjoy listening to secular music, but there is a line
Yeah. For sure.
of certain music that I won't listen to because it does direct a certain behavior or thought, pattern or process that I know that's not what God's best plan is for my life.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know, you pick up the kids on a Friday from school, it's the weekend. Is it bad to listen to a country song on the way home? No, it's not. Is that a sin? No, it's not. Out there that project evil, that projects the opposite of God and his nature, that get your mind thinking in a different line of thought in which he wants to lead and guide you. So the beauty of this is a question that goes back to what Jesus wants us to do. And that's to really grow in our relationship with him.
And then I would even take it a step further and stop even looking at like the secular music and the song itself, but like think about the person who wrote that song, who is singing that song. They are God's child. He created them and he loves them. And if they were to go to heaven, would you be excited? Heck yeah.
The best way to answer this question is, am I listening to this music because of the person's name and what they're known for behind it? That's not the right approach. Rather, it should be, am I listening to this music thinking through the lens of how's this affecting me? Right? How's this affecting my relationship with God? Because the reality is we're all broken, everyone's hurt, everyone's a sinner, right? So even your Christian artist, guess what? There's motivations in there that are not pure.
Yes, that's such a good point.
And so to make your basis on one music being okay based upon someone saying, I'm a Christian and I help people, worship. And yeah.
Previous church that Sam worked at and the lead pastor out there, his wife said something so like life-changing for me. And she said, it is not our job to convict other people. It's the Holy Spirit's job. And our job is to love others. And that has been my approach and my worldview as a believer ever since. How is living in Tennessee and why did you move?
Tennessee because family was here. They moved out here before us, and these are relationships we've always valued. Like they've been the most important to us in our lives. And I was against moving out here. I thought we were gonna be in San Diego forever. And it didn't take long for me to be like, wow, yeah, there's something missing. And we wanted our kids to continue to have close relationships, like best friend type relationships with their cousins. We wanted our kids to have close relationships with their grandparents. So that was really our motivation in moving to Tennessee. It's been great. We love it out here. To this point, I'm not missing San Diego.
I did the other night.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, there's just been affirmation after affirmation that this was where God was leading us.
Yes, and it feels like home. So I've moved here since 2018. I'll even put like a little note here.
Yeah.
I wrote this note. It was November 21st, 2018. I was doing my devotionals one morning, drinking coffee. We were staying here and in this cute little Airbnb. It was like before all the kids woke up. I don't even know if Sam was awake yet. And it was the last day of our trip. And I remember just writing out all of these feelings that I had in these dreams. And it's crazy because like when you place your dreams before God and just pour out your heart to him, he hears you and he understands what you want. He knew what I wanted even before I went on this trip. And I remember coming home and being like, I want to recreate what I felt in Tennessee and San Diego. But it took another 5 years for us to finally get out here. But it was worth the wait because I feel like there was so much that we learned in ministry, you being in ministry, but there was so much I learned as Sam's wife, as a mom, also just in my walk with the Lord.
Yeah.
And I do miss San Diego and visit some people. I want to see San Diego. I want to like feel the air on my skin.
Yeah.
I do miss that part, but I also don't miss, sometimes I do miss living there. I will say that. But at the same time, I don't regret our decision for moving.
Yeah.
And the kids have started to really get settled.
What we're doing out here, or what God's led us to do, which is campus church that we are a part of, that we're launching, that we're planning. Move out here, and it was amazing how God provided an opportunity to continue to do ministry. That was definitely on our heart, something I really wanted to keep pursuing. And the crazy thing is we're helping plant a campus for the church that we grew up at, the church that we actually met at back in high school. But I had never worked at prior, because again, my first job in ministry came 6 years ago when we decided to actually leave that church to go help plant another church. I had to do that.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that you guys are here. I'm thankful that you guys are a part of our journey. So that is it for our Ask Us Anything. I took like the most frequently asked questions, and those were them. So if there are any more, I will do another one of these maybe in like 3 months from now. But so be looking for them on my Instagram stories. I am gonna be starting like in the fall, once the kids are in school and we're back into like a regular rhythm, I will be doing once a week vlogs. So I'm curious to know in the comments, let me know what kind of vlogs you guys would like to see. I would love to share a little bit more about Sam's ministry and like what we do together. Maybe Sam should do a day in the life for us as a pastor.
Day in the life?
Yeah.
When I film myself?
Yeah, you feel. We need to go back to being parents. We love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching.